Now, welcome to another news from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
All right, we've got a really interesting story, I think, today. There are rumors coming out specifically from...
Potential spoilers, too, I guess. I always want to throw that out there whenever we're dealing with rumors, that this could be true and could spoil something, so be aware.
Making Star Wars Net apparently seems to have an inside source, a man on site.
A lot of people do these days.
Production of Ahsoka. And during the production, they noticed there was like a code name for the character that they found out that then had like 3 code names indicating different eras and different actors for those moments. Like they called her one thing for each different actor.
Okay.
Who is playing her.
I mean, that doesn't seem like a stretch. If it's going to be... Ahsoka's going to need to be introduced to audiences who know next to nothing about her. Mm-hmm. And so you might need the younger Ahsoka and her connection to a certain Skywalker, perhaps?
Okay, but what makes matters more confusing is if they're going to do what you say, why are they bringing World Between Worlds into this?
You're skipping ahead now.
I am skipping ahead.
Well, we'll get to that. Why don't you finish reading? We'll discuss that.
All right. To be clear... It says there is another young actress playing Ahsoka Tano in Star Wars Ahsoka that is not Rosario Dawson, nor is it Ashley Eckstein. Ashley could possibly be voicing the young Ahsoka, but is not playing the character. Apparently there are glimpses, small sequences for these other actors, but Dawson will play Ahsoka for the majority. We're apparently going to get glimpses of Ahsoka Tano in other times and eras via the World Between Worlds.
See, I don't know why we have to use the World Between Worlds for that. Now that we're there, you can just have her have flashbacks or force visions. There's a lot of things you can do without bringing in the World Between Worlds. Not that I think it's the worst thing ever, but the whole time travel thing is not something I'm a huge fan of in Star Wars.
Yes. It says there's like a version of Ahsoka in her late teens, one for another undisclosed time, and of course our present-day Rosario Dawson Ahsoka. One of these versions is supposed to be the one we saw from that final moment of Rebels, where she's wearing the white robes. When she comes to White? Yeah, Ahsoka the White, when she's coming to get Sabine, like, I found Ezra, let's go.
Yeah, which was a cool moment.
Mm-hmm. All right, and here's where we're going to keep getting weirder. Darth Vader is confirmed to be fighting Ahsoka, but not really Darth Vader. It's going to be Hayden Christensen, and he was spotted wearing his robes he was wearing on Mustafar in Revenge of the Sith, fighting Ahsoka.
Well, that is still Darth Vader. As soon as he gets that name and becomes a Sith, he is technically... But I think it's easier to distinguish. Yeah, it's easier to distinguish and say Darth Vader meaning the suit and Anakin meaning not Anakin form. Suit. Yes.
Anakin form.
Meaning he still has all his legs and an arm.
He's not more machine than man yet.
Not more machine. He's still got some machine parts, but there's still a lot more human than machine at that point.
He's got to get some mods.
Yeah, he needs to visit that mod shop. They could have done numbers on that suit.
All right, so they're saying in this show, we're going to see many possible outcomes for Ahsoka's life and how, in essence, no matter what, they all lead to a particular moment in her story. They're saying, like, if Ahsoka would have returned to the Jedi Order instead of remaining out of it, she would have been the one to fight Darth Vader on Mustafar, having the high ground and all that, and not Obi-Wan, because what happened had to happen to get Tano to where she needed to be for where the Skywalkers needed to be. Yes.
So you're saying that Ahsoka would have still won that fight over Vader?
I
over
suppose.
Anakin Vader?
Because I think they're trying to prove, in a sense, that destiny cannot be changed.
Okay.
So maybe it was her fate, her destiny for Ezra to pull her out of the World Between Worlds, because they're saying you cannot change fate.
But fate was changed by Darth Maul, was it not? Even Filoni acknowledges that Qui-Gon was meant to train Anakin. So fate is changed by... See, that's always what I've seen the Sith. The Sith are the wild cards, right? The Sith can change things that the Force intended, which is why they disturb the balance. The Force, I don't think, has any kind of, conscious awareness per se. It just has something that, it intrinsically wants the universe to be balanced and for things to work, right? But the Sith come in and they throw a wrench in that. The Sith do what they want. They're selfish. And so they ruin this balance. And so things that are destined to be by the Force are interrupted by the Sith. Hence the whole Qui-Gon Jinn dying instead of training Anakin.
Could this all relate to... they talk about... They want present-day Ahsoka to learn that Anakin was destined to take the path that he did to get where he was going. And that no matter what she does, she can't change it.
See, that I'm fine with. I don't know that Ahsoka needs to learn that because I think that's what she learns in Rebels.
Could
but
it be
again,
that she just wanted that? She just wanted to save her master, so she tries to find a way
Yeah,
and realizes that she can't?
yeah, but I think she learns that in Rebels, or I think that was kind of the point of Rebels for her to like, oh, I couldn't have saved him even probably back then. I guess we're going to go through that again. Rebels is not seen by everybody, and again, we're exploring the character of Ahsoka for new people. Mm-hmm. So I do get kind of showing that she learns this at some point.
This is said to be something like a visions sequence. I mean, they're also apparently going to be just kind of looking at had Ahsoka killed Thrawn and Ezra Bridger didn't need to use the Purrgil to escape, would Ahsoka's destiny have changed? But no, they're going to learn that it's supposed to stay the same. This is all supposed to teach Ahsoka that she cannot change her destiny and has to embrace it.
I'm kind of not a fan of this. Star Wars is about choices. It's about the choices that Anakin...
has no choice, or that her choices would have led to the same conclusion?
Yeah, I really don't like this. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, so don't take to the comments like, oh, wait till you see it. Yes, I get that. But if the idea is to show that Ahsoka has a fate that she cannot avoid, that kind of destroys the idea of Star Wars, right? Anakin made a choice. He was destined to destroy the Sith, you can say that. But he was destined to be, I think, and you know, I've seen the argument made by others, and Dave Filoni's talked about this as well. I think he was destined to be trained by Qui-Gon. Duel of the Fates is deciding the fate of Anakin Skywalker, right? It's not that it was set in stone that he would become Vader and eventually down the road destroy the Sith via Luke and all these things. The duel was about would things happen as they should, and I don't know, by fate or by luck, it does still turn out to be that Anakin helps destroy the Sith in the end and all that. But I don't like the idea that the choices you make don't matter. That fundamentally destroys what I think Star Wars is about. It's about making that choice between being selfless and selfish, or the in-between choice, or whatever choice it might be, right? That's what Star Wars is at the core all about. The choices of the individual.
It's weird. It's almost like it's doing It's a Wonderful Life. Like, hey, Ahsoka, this is what would have happened had you done this, or had, you know.
Yeah.
And I can see that, but I agree that I feel like had Ahsoka been on Mustafar, could things have been different? Could, if maybe she would have managed to get to Anakin before, you know, after she learned about what was about to happen, if she would have made it there instead of...
Yeah, instead of Obi-Wan going alone, or instead of Obi-Wan going... that's the thing. Like, I think different things happen. If Ahsoka goes, I think something different happens. I don't think Ahsoka stands a chance against Anakin form Darth Vader. I don't think so. Obi-Wan is his master. He trained him everything he knows. He's able to beat Vader, a lot because Vader is overconfident at that point, of course. But I honestly don't think Ahsoka stands a chance against Vader.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, I mean, do you think so?
I don't know.
I'm curious what people in the comments think. I think Ahsoka is, don't get me wrong, I think Ahsoka is very skilled. She's a talented Force user. She defeats Maul. I don't really have a problem with that so much. But the idea of her beating Anakin? Darth Vader Anakin? Full form? All legs? One arm? I don't think so.
No, I feel like that'll be a real struggle for her. I mean, he taught her.
Yeah.
So he should be able to predict her movements better than she can. I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of like Obi-Wan.
Yeah, they have the same symmetry in that because it's still a master and a Padawan fighting, but at the same time, I don't know. They changed the whole timeline going into this, so it's really hard for me to figure out who would actually win in that fight. I mean, she did just come off of beating Maul. I don't know.
See, I kind of thought the series would be more post all of this, right? Let's see who Ahsoka is independent of Anakin. Not saying you ever fully remove yourself from Anakin.
Well,
and
for all we know,
this
is one episode. Where
it probably is. It probably is. I hope it is. I hope it's an episode that, like I said, you're going to have new audiences. Mm-hmm. You need to explain the importance of Anakin to Ahsoka and all of these things. Otherwise, her story doesn't make sense, right? But I still want to see the story of Ahsoka after that.
It has to be, because we know she's got a mission to find...
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're going to show us that she comes to the conclusion she could have never saved it, that it was some kind of fate. And I don't like the idea that it's like some sort of fate, that the choices made by whoever it is, be it Ahsoka, Anakin, Obi-Wan, that they really didn't matter. It was this destined path. I don't really like that idea. I want to believe when I watch Revenge of the Sith that if Anakin decides, hey, I'm not going to cut off Mace's hand, I'm going to help him kill the Chancellor, everything changes. There's no predetermined anything there, right? You're making it sound like he was always going to make that choice to save the Chancellor. Or save Palpatine, whatever you want to call him at that point.
Could it just be that his destiny was the one that was more static?
I don't know.
and that she can't change it.
But why would
could it possibly be that the only, maybe she can make changes throughout, maybe we do have the free will and the choice in the Star Wars universe, but maybe because he has a destiny, he is prophesized, he still has to get from point A to point B? I don't know.
I guess. I'm just saying I don't like the idea that things are meant to happen. I mean, always in motion the future is, right?
But maybe it's just that she can't change the past.
I mean, I guess so, as long as that's kind of the lesson that she can't now change the past, that using the world between worlds is not going to save Anakin or something like that.
Because at the same time, that does fix the problem in Rebels, where we're like, oh, we'll just use the world between worlds to fix everything. Instead, it makes the moment when Ahsoka was saved more of a moment that was meant to happen. It happened, and you can't undo it.
I guess.
Rather than us going, well, just fix all your problems. Just like Ahsoka told him, you can't pull Kanan out of that moment.
Because it's a paradox at that point. See, yes. that's the problem. Like, there's people who make the argument it's not time travel. Well, the problem is that, yes, according to even what Filoni has said, if you watch the Rebels bonus features on the disc, he could have reached in there and pulled Kanan out. Now, that would have destroyed everything.
Because they would have died if Kanan wasn't there.
Yeah, because then you're creating a massive paradox. It's like the grandfather thing. You go back and kill your grandfather before you're born. Well, how did you get here? If Kanan is killed before he saves Ezra, how does Ezra go and save him? So the thing is, like, time travel is possible, right? Mm-hmm. Not to mention, Ezra does literally reach into the past and pull Ahsoka out of that moment. That is changing the past. Now, it may have always happened that way. You can say it's like a closed loop, and you can make things, excuses for it, essentially, but it is time travel in Star Wars. So
at least time alteration, if nothing else.
Yeah, so what I'm hoping here is it's just a kind of a recap episode, Ahsoka realizing she could never have saved Anakin no matter what she tried to do. That it's just impossible.
And think about it, that would free her of some guilt to know that there was nothing she could do.
Yeah. That every choice that she
happened, and she cannot go back and change the past.
Yeah, that every choice she would have made would have ultimately led to the same outcome for Anakin. That she didn't have the choice to save him, essentially. Mm-hmm. That I'm okay with. Just I don't want it like it's predetermined that he was going to become Vader, because I don't think that is at all the case. That choice is made by Anakin in Revenge of the Sith. All right, well, I think that is going to be all we got for this time. So do take to the comments below and give us your take on this. Again, I know we haven't seen the episode yet, so please refrain from the comments of, you got to wait and see it, Thor. I get that. We're trying to have a fun discussion here. And we hope we take
discussion and speculation.
Yeah, exactly. So please take it to the comments below and give us your thoughts on it. I love reading other people's theories and speculation on these things. So again, take it to the comments below. Tell us what you think. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.